Now let's talk relationship on Wake Up Nigeria. Joining us is Olabisi Ola Soetan, a certified emotional intelligence and marriage coach, who is also the founder of the Secret Place Wife. I always say that wife with emphasis because husband always comes to my mind. Today we will be looking at if your smartphone is ruining your relationship. Is it? Is it not? Let's find out from her. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you. And you?
Very well, thank you. Okay, so smartphones have become a part of our lives.
Absolutely.
And the reality is there's almost nothing we can do without our smartphone.
Indeed.
But then there's always that time when you're with your partner and there's the need for you to spend quality time together. How can you maximize that period, putting aside your phone? Because it can be very difficult.
I think what we need to first realize is that they need to put aside your phone, right? Most times people are not willing to put aside their phone, and even if a partner calls their attention to it, we get defensive, almost as if we've been triggered in some kind of way to say you're not good enough. So it's a balancing act of understanding that connection is the reason we're together. So whether we're in the same room, actually talking or not talking, connection is the goal. Once you prioritize your partner enough and you prioritize the connection between the two of you, that's what will direct you as to when you need to pick up your phone, when you need to drop it, when you need to actually engage face-to-face with your partner. Okay. So I feel like prioritizing the relationship is where to start.
Now, you know, prioritizing is one thing. However, there are people who will tell you that there are certain times when it's an absolute no-no. Could you give us some of those times when using your phone when with your spouse is a no-no? I know one for sure is when you are having dinner, for example.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for instance, if I ask most people, when you woke up this morning, did you turn to give your partner a hug or you checked your phone? Either for time or for your social media, you know, whatever. The answer would most likely be the phone. I also being guilty. Do you see? So it's important that we recognize that every time is a time to connect with your partner. It's not that we need to have some specific time where you connect. Every time is important to connect. So once you understand that, you will then put your partner first. Now, typically, we always pick up our phones. And there's an opening statement you said that it's a big part of our lives now. So it's not anything we can wish away. I think it's just for us to realize the impact it might be having in interactions daily. So when you wake up in the morning, it's time to turn to your partner. When you're eating, it's time to turn to your partner. When you're just in the house together, look for your partner and turn towards them.
So I want to verify some things. This is me playing the devil's advocate.
Right.
Let's say I have an online business,
right,
which requires me. Because, you know, online businesses, many of them, the CEO is the marketer, the accountant, the social media manager, and everything. So you have such a job or a business, and you have to constantly be on your phone. So much so that you might be out having dinner with your partner, for example, and you're like this, and you're trying to talk to your partner, and you're trying to multitask.
Right.
In such cases, shouldn't there be, you know, room made, you know, to understand the situation?
I think it's from the assumption that people just do these things. There are certain things driving how we work, how we interact, and our values drive our habits. So if you are an online entrepreneur and you have a 9 to 5, you know the times when you go to work, you know when you close. So as an entrepreneur, you have to have a time when you close from work as well, where you connect with your children, you connect with your spouse. Now, if you have decided that let's go to dinner and something is coming up, it may just be that you have become somebody who is now addicted to the feeling that you get when an alert comes on your phone saying that might be an inquiry. Do you see? So that's some kind of dopamine being released, which we're not aware is happening. So yes, of course, your phone is naturally a big part of your life, but it should not come top of it, where you forget that it's still a part of it that you should always watch out for, so you don't overtake.
Okay, so what are the best ways to manage your time with your partner, especially regarding phone use?
Just to remember that you've been playing devil's advocate, I'll say that one way is that try to incorporate the phone into the relationship as well, so that you can share like jokes across social media platforms. This is something that can also spark conversation at home. If I were to send you a joke now and you're laughing out loud, oh my goodness, we may actually start talking about that, as opposed to just laughing on my phone all by myself. So that's one way to incorporate it. Another way is to maintain physical touch, even if you are actually using your phone. Okay. So if we're sitting together, we're a couple, and you're pressing your phone, I'm pressing mine, I can lean on you.
Okay.
You see, that way we're still connected in some form of ways.
Aha. Okay, those are really cool suggestions.
Yeah.
Those are really cool suggestions. So, of course, those are for those who don't have anything to hide. Because if I'm leaning on you, it means you can look down.
That's another conversation entirely.
Do a Beyonce on you, you know?
You know, and something can now come in and trigger a fight. That's another level.
So that's another level of it. Okay, but basically what you've taught us today is to learn to put our phones aside.
Down and connect.
Yes, and connect. Now, we have phone etiquette, right? Now, with phone etiquette, there's also the issue of phone etiquette when it comes to your relationship. So when you put your phone aside and you try to focus on your partner, isn't it a problem if phone calls keep coming in and those phone calls happen to be very important?
Well, you take it. The idea of connection is not to just create some rules that don't work for reality. You see, there has to be understanding and clarity. So if you have an important call to attend to...
It might not be important, but it might be a call from somebody you haven't heard from in a while.
Well, if it's not important and say maybe we're out on a date, there has to be agreement that this is a time we're spending together. So that phone call would not even seem as important to you because of what you have prioritized. But if you don't have rules, if you don't have boundaries set, if you don't have, you know, an understanding of how important that process is, then everything can then come your way. Meaning that things are happening to you, you're not necessarily happening to things.
Okay, so basically, learn to put your phone on DND. Do not disturb when you are hanging out with your partner. So that's...
Or with your children.
Or your children. Thank you so much for your time, Olabisi Ola Soetan. Thank you so much
for having me.